Hi guys and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to yet another episode reaction for the Summer Hikaru Died. Today we're going to be checking out episode number 9, where we need to, I can't even speak, we need to immediately follow up whatever the hell happened at the end of the previous episode, with Rie snapping Yoshiki out of that nightmare state that he seemed to be in. But it was very strange because this nightmare state, it's something I didn't even talk about in the previous episode, the fact that they were seemingly taken to another location, everyone else disappeared or they were taken elsewhere to this empty void of a location, a nightmare state type location where only those two boys remained in this nightmare monsters realm, I guess. I don't know how else to describe that, but we need to follow that up. We need to discover what the hell happened there. Hikaru is either weaker than that thing or just weakened by the fact that half of his being is now within Yoshiki's keep, he's holding it. So yeah, who knows what's to come? I have no clue, but I'm very excited because things are kicking off, things are really intense, and this series has been absolutely incredible. Within this episode as well, I suspect that the boys will approach the old man, Takeda, I think that sounds about right anyway, Takeda. I'm surprised I pulled that name out of nowhere. I was sitting here thinking how do I describe who this guy is without knowing his name? But yeah, I think it's Takeda. They need to approach this old man and find out what he knows about all of this. But he's got a protection ward now or something like that. Something that will protect him. So I don't know if that will mean that something will triggered to indicate that Hikaru, the entity that they're looking for, is here or what, but something might happen and this protection ward might come into play. But yeah, we're just going to dive right into this. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed these videos, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and comment down below letting me know your favorite slasher movie. I'm only thinking of that because of the knife thing in the previous episode, and yeah, my wife and I, we've been watching a lot of horror stuff recently, so a good old slasher would be nice to mix things up every so often. So yeah, let me know, and I will take those recommendations into account. And yeah, if you guys want to show even more support, you can hit the bell down below so that you will be notified when these videos go live. We are approaching the end of the series. I am very saddened by that. I don't want this to end, but all the best series have to end at some point. And of course, share this with a friend if you think they would enjoy these videos. And yeah, we're going to dive right into this one. We're going to see what comes our way in this next episode in The Summer Hikaru Died, episode number 9. Let's go. Indo family. That's a tombstone. Was there liquid poured over that? Okay, so this is real Hikaru. It's a flashback. You can tell from the widescreen and the fact that he has black eyes. Damn, it's even in moments like these that Hikaru is the one to try and break tension and bring levity and make Yoshiki smile, when you would think it would be the other way about in a situation like that. Tells you so much about his character. It's so good! It's such a great... I'm just gonna spoil it. This might be opening for the year for me. I don't know. There's still more openings to come this year, but this is... it's so good. A clock? Okay. Episode 9. Old Man Takeda! Ria, yeah, there it is. Don't like the heat warnings, absolutely not. Ah, so your husband, there was something outwardly different looking about him, but you've noticed the hand mark. That's the dog? Oh shit, that's the hunting dog? What? A flimsy barrier, and it was able to suck you into its barrier. Which is why we see the filter the way we do. That's cool. Bit of an exorcist though, is what she is, I guess. Yeah, you can just exorcise their souls or their beings back to their... Just like yourself. Satellites? Oh.
ちょうどそんな感じなんよ。山におった時は彼が平石みたいに汚れを集めとったから、町や集落には汚れが降りてこやんです。
Yes, he does consume them.
事故とかの直接の原因は汚れってことですか？光やなくて。
そうね。でもこんなに汚れが多いんはそもそも異常やねん。
傷つけたりせん。つか無理やって。
まあまあ、
More like I
これ
can't.
食べない。おいしいよ。
Oh, it's the buns. Ugh. Oh, we don't see the thing behind him.
あんた一体何者なんやろな。
I think he would tell you if he knew.
私もな、あんたみたいに昔死んだ夫が帰ってきたことがあったんよ。
Okay, we're actually getting
より
info.
ご飯できたよ。
Iori. Oh
お
my.
あのさお父やんがさ
My Pokemon?
強くしてくれて。
そうよかったやん。ずっとは無理やと思
Oh
うけど、
god.
もう少しだけこのまま。
Oh.
より
Jeez.
ごめんなより、ごめんな。お母さんのせいや。私がなんとかする。
Oh, the tear. We saw something that looked like that a while ago, back in like episode 1 or 2. I can't remember why. Oh, that's really sad. Did Iori?
魂やったけど、あれはどこまで行ってもただの汚れに過ぎんかった。
根本的になんか。
That GR.
輪廻の輪の外側におるような。
Jeez, yeah.
意味のわからん。
He certainly is an enigma. 100%. Nobody
七木様
knows.
って知ってますか？
What about Uniki?
あ、ごめんね。わからんな。ねえ、このまま汚れが増え続けたら、た
Yeah.
くさんの人が死ぬよ。
Yeah.
あんたたちはどうしたいん？
We want to stop it, but they're just young boys.
命の重さがようわからん。全部放って逃げることやってできる。
That you could, but
ヨシキは絶対そんなことしやん。
yeah, you're not gonna leave without Yoshiki.
ヨシキの大事なもの。それは俺にとっても。
Yoshiki cares about his family. Would you believe that?
俺はやっとできた大事な居場所やから。
Oh, it's so sweet. But it's hard to know if those are words he truly means, or I mean, I think he does.
決めたから。そのために人が死ぬのは。
Yeah.
見て見ぬふりをする
Especially when your family could be next, for all you know.
そっか。ヒカルくんも町や村もどっちも大事なんやね。
100%,
ヒ
yeah.
カルを見捨てたない。けどムランことも見捨てたらあかんと思うから。
Even though you would love to get out of here,
それじゃ
you can't just.
一緒に
Yeah.
なんと
Oh,
か
it's so
しなきゃね。
sweet.
ええ子たちやな。
They are good kids. Damn, that was crazy look though, the way she sees him so differently.
お疲れ様でした。
This damn hunting dog. Shit. What is this thing? Ah, he can view the memories of what it saw and everything. Shit. The way the hand for that bell monster thing looked, it looked very much like Rie's husband, the way we saw the hand. I don't know if that was intentional or if it's just the way they make these things look.
私の名前出してもええから。こんな主婦でもいろんなところに恩を受けてある。
That's really funny.
ねえ、ヒカルくん。
A
あんたこれ
warning?
以上辻中くんを混じり物にしたらあかんよ。わかっとるやろ。
What will happen?
辻中くんが人の世界に戻れんくなる。
Shit, what? Isn't that just a thing for like death?
あんなんはな読めたらええねん。
That's a callback to episode 1 because the ice cream
この
spell
村
drawn.
では何も変わらず時間が過ぎていく。誰も何も知らんままで。
Just you, him, Rie, and a little bit Asuko.
ヒカル、
You bought it all?
帰っといてくれやん。悪い。
おい。
Back in the same location you found out.
気にすんな。
Look at those lifeless eyes. Oh, is this where you got the bird? Crowley, it is.
な
Oh,
んでごめん
whose grave is this?
あいつが
Oh,
おる限り誰もお前を
oh,
止め
you
ない
made a little makeshift one for
あいつ
Hikaru.
がおると
This is,
お前は
oh,
忘れやんでいられる
that's really sad.
な
And it's so beautiful too, though.
昔ここ
Such
で
a
よ
precious
遊んどったよ
thing.
な自作のスーパーマリオのステージや
Super Mario?
俺とヒカルの違いってどんなとこ
ヒカルはお前よりは空気読むし大人だし
He could read the situation,
分
yeah.
かりづらかったな結構ずるいところもあるもう絶対戻ってこい
Yeah.
やからちゃう
He didn't have to act to be himself, he was himself.
なんで
いや前になんか俺の裸見て目背けてさなんかあれはさ
言いたない
お
今はもうお前の体見ても何と
Don't
も
feel
思わ
a
んよ
thing.
それにこんな感情はさお前には分からんでええと思う
根本的に人間とはさ
Yeah.
全然ちゃうんやろ
It's not in your nature to
俺らには俺ら
be
だけの
human.
ものがあるやろ別に何かに当てはめやんでええつうかさお前は別に人間になんてならんでええ
Yeah,
よ
but that doesn't mean you have to be inhuman.
むしろ人間みたいにはならんといて
ちょまた
ここにおる以上人を殺してええことにはならんこいつを無理に人に合わせるんやなくてこいつらしく生きていける場所があれば
That would be nice.
そのためやったら俺は
Damn.
あげるから
Yoshki's really just giving him a rough time. Yeah, I wonder if him asking, did you like him, was like, it's hard to tell if he meant like, did you like him as a person, or like, did you like him like him? And I think he meant, did you like him, which makes this even sadder. I don't know. It's just so heartbreakingly sad that, yeah, I don't know.
野抜様は何かと引き換えに願いを叶え
In
る神
exchange for
様
something,
だ
but what was that something? Look at this tie-dye.
大量子を境にたたり神とされるようになる山から出会んように
Okay,
なった
yeah.
山に閉じ込めるみたいな感じなんかな
Yeah, that's how it seems.
どうやらインドの男はヒチさんと呼んどる何かを
Hichi-san.
代々山で何かの儀式をしてきた
It's the shrunken head.
まあ能抜き様の封印役なんかな
飛来神のように汚れを集める
Yep, they're
でも
attracted to
汚
you.
れではない
And to you as well, Yoshiki.
地獄のようなもん
Something hellish.
輪廻の輪の外側の存在
He is an enigma, as it was referred to.
神様なんかな
Some sort of god.
そうなんやないのサマーつけて呼ばれとるし俺が山に帰れば
See, like, that's a very pure and, like, nice and innocent thought. Yeah, that is true. He did say that.
紅林さんも協力してくれとるし二人で方法探るんやろ汚れを山に留めておければええわけやろ村がおかしなっとる直接の原因は汚れなんやお前はここにおったってもう人を傷つけたりしやんやんか
Wouldn't that be nice? But that's no small
村
task.
のことが分かればお前が何者でなんで汚れを引きつけるんか分かるかもしれん
Listen to Yoshiki coming up with the
調べ
plan.
てそれから言えや
It's so
ありが
nice.
と
とりあえず松浦さんの娘さんが言うとった武田のじいさん
This is true. Finally. Well, not finally. It's not even been an episode.
う武田のおっちゃん
Who's
です
gonna answer the
怖い
door? His son's scary enough. Well, it's gonna be the son that opens. No?
インドのとこの
武田のじいさんに聞きたいことが調べ学習的な
お父さんに無理やろあの様子やと
I'm sure he isn't.
外にも出ようとしないし。
He's pretty old. And he's probably seen some shit.
紅林って人から頼まれとるっつうか
紅林お父さんが
Ah, they're using her name. They're using her name because that's what she said to do if any trouble arises. Keeps focusing on time here.
紅林を呼んでくれ。
Why?
紅林さん探しとるんですか
Is it something to do with her father?
ことで見つけた本物の
Shit, okay. She's a real medium. She can go between both places, I guess.
次に
She has access to both.
俺や
殺されるって松浦さんの次
I did forget that this was a thing. I forgot about that.
山から降りてきとる
It's come down.
見じゃけたうんきさ
Maimed Summer?
それって脳抜き様
ダレン星でインドの息子がダレン星でこうなったと元をたどりゃすべてインドの人間が犯した禁忌のせいやそのせいでたくさんの人間がのうなった
Were the Indos the reason for the famine?
インドの男は代々山
Oh,
に謝りに
shit.
行くもらったもんをお返ししにお返ししインドなら知っとるやろがあれは飢饉のせいだけやないたたりや過ぎた願いで怒りを買った
Shit.
インドの人って結局何した
そんなことも知らんから儀式もうまくいかんかったや自分の名字がなんでインドもなんかお前の家のどうでも見てこい
Okay, look at the temple. That's your
落
next.
ち着いて
もう入られとる
What's inside him? It's 3 o'clock?
山に入った時は俺や見たいや
Ew. What the hell? That it did. What the hell?
こんにちはインド光る
Oh, here we go. Hikaru Endo. We're here, and we're all gonna get some answers. I didn't expect them to meet up so quick.
ちょっと確かめさせてもらいます
Shit. That's crazy. I mean, it wouldn't kill him. Jeez.
じいさんがヤバそうだと思ってきたらいやめちゃくちゃ都合良かったっす
We weren't here to kill him,
ちょ
though.
うどインド光くんに会えて
Oh, what's up with his eyes?
君に
Yeah, he's not dead. I wouldn't have thought so with, like, episode... It's over?! It's over?! They can't just end it like that. Bro, I thought we were gonna get, like, some other, like... I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting it to just end. God damn it, dude. That was crazy. That makes sense now what that mark on his neck is in the ending. It's when he... That's what it is. I have been wondering that every time I've watched this ending. I've been like, what is that scar marking on his neck? That's exactly what it is. I wonder if the last episode they're gonna go to the beach. Episode 12, I think. Last episode of season 1, of course. But yeah, that's crazy. That was episode number 9 of the Summer Hikaru Died. I'm shocked. Yeah, I don't really know what happened in those final moments with Old Man Takeda transforming, because it seemed very much like the way the company man was treating the situation, it's that only happened because of Hikaru showing up. But at the same time, was it the sword, the good luck or whatever? Was whatever what was like that sword represents, did it do something to Old Man Takeda's body in order to protect him? I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out at some point. But for now, I've got questions. But what we need to do is go back to the beginning of this episode. We're gonna go all the way back to the start, where they are at the grave of Hikaru's father, And Hikaru looks very sad, and he's looking down. He looks very upset by, the situation that they're in. Like, it's just a really sad, shitty situation. And Yoshiki is right by his side. But it's really telling that, and it calls back to this moment later in the episode when Yoshiki does say that Hikaru is very different from this fake Karu because he could read room, and he was just a completely different beast. He was a completely different person, animal, whatever you want to say. And one of the ways that it shows that to us as viewers is that despite Hikaru's sadness and everything during these moments, like with his father, like mourning his father, he's the one to make jokes. He's the one to try to cheer Yoshiki up. And it's greatly telling about his character. He's a character who wanted to see his friends, wanted to see everyone around him happy. Even if he had to be the one to make that the case, make them happy, like he would have done it in a heartbeat, even during these moments where he's the one that is inherently upset and really, really sad. He's still making Yoshiki smile and laugh. And of course, this scene represents the first time in this episode that we see these shiitake buns. And it's really funny because this is what Yoshiki, I believe, referenced in the previous episode where he said he would recommend these shiitake buns, I guess, to the company guy. And here we are seeing them immediately in episode 9. And this is something that was left as a little like offering, or like just a nice little thing for Hikaru's father. I'm guessing Hikaru's father loved these greatly, and they're left as a little memento for his father. And Hikaru is the one that's making the joke about, oh, what if I eat one of these? But then we see these show up a couple of times throughout this episode, these buns, and it's reminding me, isn't this the same type of bun that Hikaru ate all the way back in episode 1, where he had this like, holy shit, these things are so good moment? Is that what that was? And also, like, we did see Rie standing in front of a bakery place, probably talking about these buns right before she sensed Hikaru walk past. I think that all of those things link back to these buns, funnily enough. So yeah, I don't know what makes these buns so important, but these buns are known in this area, this Kubitachi, I believe it's called, area, and it makes you wonder, is there something more to these? And for this episode, something very fitting for what we then see later on in the episode, this is the first time we see Yoshiki grabbing Hikaru's head and kind of messing him up a bit. And yeah, it's just really cute to see that, even in a moment like this where everything's happening, they can have some fun, they can laugh together. And it tells you a lot about Hikaru, like I've been saying, but this also comes up later again. So the episode begins and it's 5:10 or 5:10, whatever you want to call it. And we see a clock, and this theme of like time passing appears fairly often within this episode. I haven't really thought into why, but yeah, we're gonna maybe try and figure that out as we go through this episode. And we are in Rie's house, and at Rie's house, she is speaking with Yoshiki because Hikaru is passed out. He is still out for the count from that previous scene in the last episode where they were in the diner. He is not conscious whatsoever. He's just knocked out. And yeah, she basically, it's quite funny the way she addresses it. She's not mad, she's not upset, and she's not like, preachy or anything like that. She's just like, so this is the kid. I'm not surprised because kids your age, they don't really listen to warnings. And yeah, it just comes across like, well, it is what it is. And she doesn't seem too worried or anything, but she obviously does care for Yoshiki, and she wants the best for Yoshiki. And that, is mentioned again later at the episode when she gives Hikaru the warning about Yoshiki getting too close and getting more mixed. So she then is surprised. She vocally out loud admits how surprised she is with how human Hikaru looks, this fake Karu. He looks very human and very normal, and that makes her recall her dead husband, the one who returned from the dead, who looked nothing like this. He was really, really different looking. Like, he was like this shadowy figure, and he looked like he didn't belong in this world. Whereas Hikaru, besides the glowing red eyes that nobody mentions for some reason, he looks very much like he belongs in this world. He looks very normal. He looks like the original Hikaru. But as she's saying all this, she notices the hand mark on Yoshiki's arm. And I think that's a great indicator as to how mixed Yoshiki is becoming, because this hand mark is getting more and more dark. It's getting, I don't know, like it's becoming part of Yoshiki, and it's something that I never thought about until I was editing the last episode. Yoshiki has a permanent mark on his body from Hikaru when Hikaru tried to kill him. Like there's just permanent leftover from that, and Yoshiki gave Hikaru something of a permanent mark from when he tried to kill him, but it was on a piece of clothing, so something less important and something that can be stitched, you know, it can be fixed, it can be repaired, the piece of clothing, whereas this mark on Yoshiki's arm maybe can't be fixed, maybe it can't go away. Like it's there, it seems to be permanent, and it's getting darker and darker every time we see it, and you know, more pronounced, more obvious. So Yoshiki, being the well-mannered young boy that he is, he thanks her for helping them, which is what anyone would do, right? But he thanks her anyway, and then he asks her what the hell that thing was, and she's able to tell him straight up, and we as the viewer, we know a bit more about this thing because we're kind of given a bit more context about it, or the context that we're told and shown about it makes us literally know exactly what this thing is. And she's saying that it's this kind of thing that feeds off of impurities, powerful impurities. When she's saying this, it shows the little shrine thing that the company guy broke open, the seal, in order to release this hound, this sniffer dog, or whatever he refers to it as. And this sniffer dog thing actually turns out to be this bell-bearing human monster, humanoid looking monster anyway. I was expecting something that literally looked human-like. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this. I really did not think this was what this was going to be. I thought that this was going to be a completely different monster altogether. So once we're told this, we obviously know that the company guy is going to learn more than he knew already based off of the interaction and the experiences of this bell-bearing humanoid looking monster with the boys in the diner. We know that if he sent that thing out there, he's going to know that it's Hikaru's body. He's gonna know. He's gonna know. Like, it's so obvious. And yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen here. That's exactly how this kind of plays out throughout this episode. And we learn that she is able to drive these impurities away, these spirits, these things. And she is a literal medium. She stands between both barriers, and she can cast something from this barrier back to its original barrier. Like, it's really cool that she is a literal physical medium, and she's able to do all this because she is kind of like the gateway and the insight to this other world. Asuko might be able to do these exact same things, considering the fact she can see and hear these things, but we have seen nothing to that degree. We have seen nothing to indicate that she can cast them back as well. So who knows what Asuko's abilities are, but it seems that maybe based off of what Rie is able to do, she can see and hear these things as well, that maybe Asuko would be able to do these things too. And it's also at this point that Rie introduces the idea that the living world and the spirit world are very close to one another physically. They're separated by a simple barrier, something so flimsy that she's able to cast one back into the other. And that explains what maybe happened at the end of the previous episode, where the boys were taken through this flimsy barrier, or this flimsy barrier kind of pulled them into that world with the spirits and everything, and that's why everyone else disappeared, because they were in this other realm. They were not present in their own, and Rie was able to sense this, snap them out of it, and pull them back, is kind of how I'm interpreting all of that and how it played out. So all it takes is for something to fracture that barrier, and then all these things can gush through, can get through. And yeah, that's kind of the answers that we were looking for as to how these things are able to cross over, how these things are even here in the first place. It's because something cracks this barrier and things are just able to spill through. And here we get the first mention of God within this episode. Rie says, "I'm not a god, I can't get rid of these things forever." But then later in the episode, we hear Yoshiki say that maybe Hikaru is a god. My thinking as to another reason why he said that, besides the context of the scene, is that he's able to consume these impurities and everything and get rid of them seemingly forever. So because he can do that, and because of what Rie said here, where she ain't no god, she can't get rid of them forever, they'll maybe eventually come back, she can just send them back to their realm. Maybe that's what made Yoshiki think, well, is he a god? He can get rid of these things permanently. So then she comes up with the analogy that Hikaru and Yoshiki, to a degree, are both like lightning rods. They attract all of these things. They're attracting impurities, and these things are seeking them out specifically. And that explains why things are happening to Yoshiki, but it also explains why these things happen around Hikaru as well. They are seeking them out specifically, and this is something that they can't really control. Yoshiki because of all the mixing, and Hikaru because of who this fake Haru is, this other thing that is within Hikaru's body. But it gives Yoshiki a bit of relief to hear that these incidents that are happening are not the cause of Hikaru, but those of impurities. And I'm wondering if that also refers to Ms. Matsura, if Hikaru didn't actually kill her, but this was one of the impurities within this this town, this village, or whatever it is. If something went and sought her out. But I'm not really sure. But yeah, he's kind of taking some slight relief in the fact that it's not Hikaru causing all of this. 10 minutes pass, and it's 20 past 5 now, and Hikaru wakes up, very confused about where he is. He's disoriented. And yeah, Yoshiki is telling Hikaru to calm down, basically, and Hikaru's like, I'm not going to kill her. And even if I wanted to, I can't. But the way he words this, like, it's not so much that I can't or I won't kill her, it's more so that I can't. So he's too weak to even do that, because he senses how powerful her mind is, perhaps more powerful than that of Asuko's, I'm sure. And so if he couldn't take down her, he can't take down this other girl, Rie. So yeah, I'm thinking that's maybe what he means here, because after losing half of his being, it's going to be a lot harder to do any of this stuff. So yeah, he reassures Yoshiki that nothing's going to happen. Hikaru wakes up and he gets straight into those little shiitake buns, and he is loving them so much. It's really nice to see him, like, you know, enjoying something, and Rie is watching him smiling. It's almost like, you know, she's seeing that he isn't this huge threat, I guess, is how I interpret this. It's like she's watching a child experience things for the first time. And I think that she gets a nice sense of relief out of this, and seeing that he's not this evil being that she maybe thought that he could be, considering the mixing that is going on between him and Yoshiki and the danger that this poses, and especially what she experienced in the past with her husband. But she does still feel the need to throw caution out there, because she knows what can happen when all of this goes down at the end of the day, because she experienced all of this herself once upon a time. And Rie knew that harboring her dead husband here, who didn't look like her dead husband anymore, he looked like this otherworldly being. I don't know how to describe it. Like, he didn't look real, he looked dead. And even seeing this shot right here, like, it looks like there's like 6 fingers or something. I can't really tell. So yeah, things are not okay. And she's even saying within this memory that she has of way back when, like this version of Rie from back then, she's like, a little longer won't hurt. I know this is wrong, but yeah, she should have pushed him back into the dead world, the other realm, because this is not right. And this ends up leading to, I still don't know if this was the death of her son or a scarring on his face that changed him forever. And even then, it's making me think, like, something else. This is a bullshit wacky theory, but could Rie's son be the company guy? Because the scarring on his neck and everything like that. And at the end of the episode, his eye looked really weird when we saw a glimpse of it through the sunglasses. I don't know if we've ever seen his eyes without the sunglasses. I can't recall. So yeah, I'm starting to wonder now if her son might be that company guy, because he's the only other character that we know of with a permanent scarring, a permanent mark left on his body. She recognized the mark on Yoshiki's arm as something of being touched, mixed, and everything like that. So is there some sort of crossover there? Maybe not. Maybe not at all. Maybe that's just stupid and we already know the name of this guy and I'm already forgetting it. But yeah, just a theory or an idea I want to throw out there. And yeah, that ends up happening, and Yeah, I don't know. It just leads to then her having to send, I guess, the husband away again because of what he ended up doing. And it was very sad, actually, the scene, because it seemed like this thing didn't mean to hurt Iori. This thing did not intend to, but it did. And once it did, you see it, the hand reaching out almost like an attempt to comfort and to make sure that everything's okay. Like, that's how it looks. It's very, very sad, in all honesty. And once Rie is like, I promise I'll fix this. I'm sorry, Iori. I'll fix this and I'll make everything better. That seemingly is when she says that she will send him back to the other realm, the other world, whatever it is, across the barrier, and make sure that he can't get back to hurt them again. And in saying this, we see the husband, the dead husband, a tear form, and it's just really sad because it reminds me, I think it was Yoshiki back in episode 1 when he was thinking about what this means and everything, with Hikaru being not the real Hikaru anymore. I think we saw a very similar shot of like just a black screen and then a tear appearing, or an eyeball appearing and then a tear dripping down the face. It looked exactly like that. And yeah, it's crazy just how, I guess, you can compare those scenes. It's wild. And yeah, Rie says like Hikaru's different because Hikaru's soul is not present within this being. What is within him is something else entirely, something that she doesn't know. It's not more than just a simple impurity like with her husband. So yeah, it goes yet again to show like Hikaru, his case is very different and very abnormal from any and everything else within this world. And yeah, they ask about Nanaki and she says she doesn't have a clue what this Nanaki is, and she asks what they're planning to do because people are going to die if things continue as they are. And Yoshiki and Hikaru just both keep their heads down. They're not answering. And then we get this really great introspective scene where Hikaru's thinking to himself, you know, I could just run away and leave everything because I don't understand the value of life. Like, this doesn't really mean too much to me, so I could leave. But Yoshiki would not. So it's interesting to hear the way he thinks, because he doesn't think like, could I convince Yoshiki or could I ask Yoshiki? It simply seems to be that he does not see a life without Yoshiki, and so in having these thoughts of like, I could just run away, it's like, but I'm not going to run away without Yoshiki, and Yoshiki is not going to. So yeah, he's starting to understand Yoshiki a bit more. He's starting to understand the importance of these things to Yoshiki, but his life still does not have any meaning or anything whatsoever without Yoshiki. And yet he even says, this stuff that's important to Yoshiki is important to me too, because it's important to Yoshiki. So then he lifts his head and he says, we're going to stay here, we're going to help however we can, we're going to figure things out, because I found a place here, I want to help, I want to live here, this is my home. Like, it's really nice to hear him say all this, but at the same time, it leaves me wondering how much of this he truly means, and how much he's saying, you know, to put out this act of someone who, you know, it's almost like he's mimicking things that he's heard other people say. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I think it's really beautiful, and I loved hearing Hikaru be the one to pipe up and say this. And then Yoshiki kind of backs him up with all this. And yeah, they're going to help however they can. Yoshiki is not going to leave Hikaru, and Hikaru is not going to leave this place that he now can call a home. He wants to protect it, and Yoshiki does not want to leave people behind to die. He doesn't want anything more bad to happen, especially when people that he cares about live here too. And yeah, Rie is pleased by this, and she herself thinks to herself, these are good kids. And then we see a really interesting shot where we see the way she sees Hikaru, and it's kind of crazy. He's so shaky and not human, like there's no solid form. And then next up we get a very surprising scene where the guard dog shows up and zooms through the company man, and that's how he learns all those memories, that's how he figures things out. And then Rie gives them the best piece of best piece of information, like best thing that they could have heard, where it's like, hey, if you ever run into trouble, just use my name. People owe me a lot of favors around here. So yeah, people owe her a lot of favors, probably because of the fact that she is this medium and she has helped them out with a lot of stuff that goes on in this town, this village, and they owe her a great deal, and they respect her name. So hearing that name, they do not want to dishonor or disrespect her. So that comes up again later as well. As Yoshiki and Hikaru go to leave, Yoshiki leaves first, and Hikaru is still putting his shoes on, and that's when Rie says, hey, don't get him any more involved than he already is. If he gets too mixed up in all of this, he will not be able to return to the human world. And that is very shocking, because if the barrier is so flimsy, I would have thought it would be easy to kind of pull back and forth both sides. But yeah, whatever this is that's going on with Yoshiki, it's not looking good, and Hikaru needs to keep that in mind. Hilariously then, Hikaru goes and buys out all of those little buns from a store, and Yoshiki has this little moment where he thinks to himself, time is moving on, and yeah, nobody knows the truth about what happened, even though like he's really the only person besides a couple other people who knows what's happened with Hikaru. But Yoshiki's really the only person who knew Hikaru that knows what's happened. Asuko thinks he's possessed, but Asuko still thinks he is in there. Yoshiki does the little hand thing on Hikaru's head again, and he says, hey, you go on without me. I got something I want to take care of. And this is where he returns to the shack where they had that scene with Crowley, the crow, and they were, you know, helping Crowley get better. And yeah, he actually built a little makeshift tombstone, like little headstone for the real Hikaru as well, and it's unmarked. There's nothing really there, but he leaves one of the little buns there, and it's his little memento and way to honor his memory, because he's the only one who knows what happened, and so he wants to respect and honor the memory of his dead friend. And this is a really beautiful way that he does that. It's so horribly upsetting though at the same time. It's so sad that he is the only one that knows that this is unmarked, you know, like it's just so sad that nobody else is mourning this young poor boy, and Yoshiki is the only one that is. Hikaru shows up, and this is where the scene kind of changes. It becomes less about like his mourning for his dead friend and more so about the differences and Yoshiki kind of admitting the change that they have had and what is different now and everything like that. Like Hikaru straight up asks, what's different between us? And Yoshiki is very honest. Like Hikaru was able to read a room, he was able to do this, that and the other, and he was so special. And then Hikaru asks, did you like him? And I've said this already earlier, I don't know if he meant like, did you like him as a friend? But I don't think he did. It's obvious that he liked him as a friend. He was asking if he liked him more than just as friends. And that's because Hikaru can kind of sense that, kind of understands that. And it makes you wonder then if the real Hikaru also sensed and realized those things, but didn't act on it, didn't do anything with it. And Yoshiki kind of admits then like that he did. I think he admitted here, I can't remember. And you know, Hikaru's like, yeah, you couldn't even look at my body. So it became kind of obvious to me that that was the case. And Yoshiki's like, well, I can look at it now. And yeah, that just makes it so sad. He's no longer like got these feelings of love for Hikaru. Those feelings have died, like the real Hikaru. Like it's honestly very interesting storytelling that's being done here through that. And it's really sad. Like it's so sad that that love that he had has moved on. It's past. And I don't know if it's that it died with Hikaru or that he no longer just feels that way in general. Like I can't tell, but I think it's that once the real Hikaru died, that love, those feelings of love died with it. It's really sad that this is his first love probably, and it's just really, really even sadder that this is the love of a young boy for another, because it's hard enough, I would imagine. I can't speak from experience, but I can only imagine how difficult it is to come to terms with feeling those kinds of things and worrying about what others will say, what they might think and everything like that. So having those thoughts to yourself and then this sort of thing happening, it's heartbreaking. And this is then obviously followed up by Hikaru saying, I'm built different from humans. Like I'm not made up of the same things as humans are made up of. And so Yoshiki replies with, well, then you don't need to act like a human. And Yoshiki then has these thoughts later on where he's like, you know, I want him to be happy in this world. I want him to find a place in this world for himself where he doesn't have to act. He doesn't have to blend in. He can be himself. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that place is with you, Yoshiki. Like his whole world and his home is with you. And if you're around, he can be that person that you want him to be. He can be that thing, that himself that you want him to be, without having to act, without having to try, without having to blend in. So the boys sit down and compile all of the knowledge that they have, everything that they know so far. And this is where the conversation about him being a god comes up. And yeah, it's not that Hikaru's got a god complex. Far from it, in fact. But it is a possibility, and they do consider that. They talk about it and what that could mean, you know, considering the fact that Nonaki-sama was known to be this thing that they worshipped, and then suddenly it cast a curse, so it was not worshipped. And yeah, that's what they have so far. So they're trying to think of what to do, and that's when they remember, hey, let's go see old man Takeda. But also within this scene, Hikaru does have that moment where he's like, well, if everything would be better if this thing, Nonaki, is in the mountain, maybe I should return to the mountain. Maybe everything will be better after that. And that's when Yoshiki jumps up and is like, hey, you said you found your place in the world. You said you like this. So you've got a home now. Like, you can't just leave it behind. Like, that would be terrible. You can't do that. Especially when you finally find a self. A reason for self. A reason for being, like, almost. You're not going to do that. That would be the worst thing you could do. And yeah, this is where Yoshiki as well jumps up, and he's very straight. He's like, this is what we're going to do, and this is why. And I love the way he talks here. He takes charge, he takes control, and he helps Hikaru here when Hikaru's feeling down. It's like a flip of what we saw at the beginning of the episode with the flashback of the funeral, or the burial, whatever it was, where this time we see that it's Yoshiki jumping up and helping bring Hikaru's spirits up, opposed to the other way around. And I think that it's beautiful. I think that is a great sign of the relationship that these two boys have. So they go to old man Takeda's house, and this is where Hikaru uses Rie's name in order to, you know, see him, because she said to do that, and this is the first time they've had to do that. But we learn that he's not in good shape, as the daughter-in-law says. That doesn't matter anyway, because we're just there to talk to him. We're going to learn things for school, apparently, is the excuse that we're going with. And the daughter-in-law says, well, he's been wanting to meet with Ms. Kurebayashi, forgive me for that, and that is very surprising. Like, why her? Why would he want to speak with her? Is it to do with something that happened with her husband? You know, were my thoughts at the time. We eventually do learn why, and it's because she is a medium and he wishes to speak with a medium, a true medium. And that's because he is next on the chopping block. The block to be killed off by Nonaki, because of the fact that Matsura was killed first and now it's going to be him. So now it's making me think, is this related to when apparently Matsura was on the mountain and saw something she wasn't supposed to see? Was she there with Mr. Takeda? Were there other people? And what they saw on the mountain that day changed the trajectory of their lives. It means that they've got this thing constantly after them, and it's been trapped in the mountain, and now that it's no longer trapped in the mountain, it's coming after them. And yeah, they're trying to ask about Nonaki because they don't know anything about Nonaki, even though Hikaru is the Indo son, the one who is supposed to carry out this ritual. He doesn't know because he's not the real Hikaru. The real Hikaru might have known, whether the fake Hikaru is just not able to tap into those memories or what, but yeah, he needs to learn. They need to learn somehow. And then we learn of the Indo's blasphemous act. Whatever they did all the way back in the 1700s, it not only caused the famine and the plague, but it also created a curse, I think it was said, and that curse has been the reason for their atonement. The Indo family carries out this ritual in order to atone for what their family did all the way back when. That pissed off Nonaki. Nonaki seemingly was not so evil, you know, as a being, and it did great things. It protected them and it helped them out. But once the Indo family made a pact, and it doesn't say that it was with Nonaki, and so that's why my thinking is that it was with Unaki, whoever that is, whatever that is, that Nonaki was pissed and created all of these terrible situations that they have since been recovering from, that it wiped out a lot of people, it killed a lot, and it was just terrible in general. And so the Indo family has been carrying out this ritual ever since in order to rectify things. And it's said that they have to return to that mountain to return what they received, and all I know of that they bring with them is the little shrunken head. So I don't know what it is that they actually do up there, if they leave behind the shrunken head or what, but something happens anyway and they return something. I don't know what that is, what that could be. I don't know if they're sacrificing someone or something or what it is, but it doesn't sound good. When Hikaru asks what did the Indo family actually do, this sets him off. He throws something at him and he's like, little wonder this whole ritual failed if you don't even know. Do you even know why your name is Indo? I wonder now what the name meaning for Indo is. Don't spoil me, because I'm sure they'll reveal that at some point. And then he starts to say, you know, something about like go and check the shrine in your garden and everything like this. So we're getting clues as to what we need to do next. Hikaru says this is bad. Something's already inside him. And I don't know what that thing could be, because we have been with Hikaru this whole time and he never did anything. So it's making me wonder if whatever happened to him is also what happened to Matsura, and if that means that it wasn't actually Hikaru. I don't know if it was. I don't know if Hikaru's ever admitted to killing Matsura. He probably has, in all honesty, because I feel like that's kind of been the accepted theory, at least, with what happened. But whatever is inside him, I don't know if it's because of the sword or not, but it grabs a sword anyway and goes to attack the boys. He ends up transforming into something else entirely, this cursed being. It changes his appearance completely. I wonder if this is just a temporary thing or if this is permanent, if this means that he is dead and he has been taken over by this thing. I wonder if this is the rage monster thing that, you know, took over at the baseball game and ended up with Maki getting his arm broken. I think it was his arm broken anyway. He got a sling on, maybe it was his wrist or shoulder, something like that, elbow. And also then we saw what happened with the guy outside the school. So something is happening, and I wonder if whatever it is that's happening took over Old Man Takeda's body as well, and that's what happened there. But interestingly, it's exactly when it turns 3 o'clock that this starts to happen. I wonder if that's part of some sort of prerequisite. And yeah, he's saying he saw it on the mountain. So that's what's making me think even more that it's whatever happened with Matsura way back when. When he goes to attack the boys, company guy shows up and grabs the sword basically from Old Man Takeda, and it looks like he's here and he saved the day, but he does make a little comment about finally we meet a son of Indo or something like that. And then he says sorry kid and slashes at Hikaru, which draws out this black smoke. I don't know what it is, but this sword was able to draw it out. I don't know if that's part of Hikaru's being, the fake Haru, or whatever it is, the entity, if he pulled it out of him and the sword is consuming it or something like that, who knows. And Hikaru's head falls off, and it's very surprising. I didn't expect anything like this, especially this early in the season. I say this early, it's episode 9, there's only 3 left, but you know what I mean. I didn't think we would see something like this. And the company guy seems to be under the impression that this is Hikaru's doing, that he is the reason this happened, when I don't think that's the case at all. We were with Hikaru, we did not see him do anything. He's like, I had great timing, I showed up, I knew that something would happen, and here I am. I'm just very curious and left scratching my head as to what is going to happen going forward here. Are we going to have a working relationship with this company man or something? Like, I don't know. But yeah, he killed Hikaru. And all that's left then is for Yoshiki to be in absolute distraught, absolute disbelief as to what he just witnessed go down. And he's holding his friend's head and he's saying he's dead. So then that's when the episode ends with Hikaru having the stuff that's within fake Haru, I don't know what it is, coming out of the neck, and the episode just suddenly ends. And this was such a frustrating cliffhanger to leave off on, because I need more, I want more, but I don't have the time to check out another episode right now, sadly, so I'm going to have to wait until a couple of days where I can watch more. But yeah, this was incredible. This was a great episode once again. I am so loving this series, and this is everything that I have been wanting, and I have been loving this. I'm so glad we're checking this out. If you guys have enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Leave a comment down below letting me know your favorite slasher movie. Speaking of slasher, you know, cut neck yet again. We heard that yet again. Like last episode, there was a lot of talking about cut necks because of the name places and everything, the characters using the name place. And here we see Company Man chop off Hikaru's neck, through his neck. So I wonder if that's part of anything, because that's the second time we've seen someone cut their neck now. But yeah, if you want to show even more support, you can hit the notification bell down below so that you're notified when these videos go live, and share this with a friend who you think might enjoy these videos. And yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. I hope that you guys are having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.